Um, Welcome to my Avant database final project presentation. The name of my database is the NCAA television database, and this is a presentation by Taiwo Ogunkeye. Um, so, so this is the introduction for my database. So the NCAA is an institution under the Ministry of Communication in Ghana that is tasked with the authority to license and regulate electronic communications activities and services in the country. To streamline its activities, the government of Ghana has ordered that the NCA digitize its services. The NCA wants to build a database to help digitalize the various activities of the television stations in Ghana. The database will enable the NCA to understand the current landscape of electronic communication within Ghana, as well as better regulate the television ecosystem in the country. The information gotten from the database is also to aid in the development of and implementation of new policies by the government for the citizens of Ghana. The database will show the programs, advertisements, sponsors of the program, etc. Um, so these are the functionalities of my database. Some of them are to generate the contact information for the individuals in the industry, such as presenters, generate information about sponsors and type of adverts they fund on TV, count the number of stations as well as the number of programs they air, get the total cost of advertisements incurred by the sponsor, so the government may calculate the estimated revenue for tax purposes, etc. So these are some of the functionalities. And this is my ER diagram. So my strong entities were program schedule, television station, advertisement, sponsor, person, and etc. My specialization and generalization structures were program and person. And then I had a telephone table specifically for the telephone numbers of the person. Then movie, documentary, and news were the specialized class for program, while producer and presenter were the specialized class for person. So these are some of my enterprise rules, which are a television station has one or many programs, and the program is aired only on one television station. Each program has many program ads, while a program ad has only has a program, right? A sponsor can run one or many ads, and an advertisement can only be sponsored by one sponsor. A person can have one or many telephone numbers, and a telephone number can only be owned by one person. A presenter can present only one news show, and a news show can have many presenters. A presenter can present one or many documentaries, and a documentary can have only one presenter. A producer can produce many shows, and a show can only have one producer. The program can have many scheduled airing days a month, but a scheduler can only be assigned to one program. So this is my logical table derivation. So we have person, which has person ID, sponsors, sponsor ID, television station, station ID, advertisement has advertisement ID, program has program ID, etc. Some of my key attributes are for person are first name, last name, sex, date of birth. Sponsors are sponsor name, sponsor type, email, and location. So yeah, I'll then show you my database from in Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, so this is my database. So for my tables, I created the tables and I'm going to tell you about some of the data types which I use. So for example, in the person table, I used character and made a limit of 1 for sex, which is either F or M, which is female or male. For sponsors, I use VACA 10 for sponsor type, and then the sponsor type can only be a company or individual. And then the email was 30. And then all my primary keys in the table are ints because ints are easier to search for in a database than VACAs or etc. And all of them are auto increments. Then, for example, in television station, my year established was small ints because the MS SQL doesn't recognize the year as a data type on its own. And my company type was VACA, and the company type has private or individual etc. But advertisement ID was also an in, and the other type was VACA of and I had 3 types, which was services, goods, and awareness. So I put this awareness there. For example, if the Ministry of Communication wants to run some, let's say, some awareness adverts such as like COVID and stuff like that. So yeah. Then what else? Then my duration of the program is in ints and in minutes. And then I had schedule, which had program ID, schedule ID, day ed, month ed, and there was these were the only values that can be accepted, and the maximum was 9 because that's the highest amount of days in the month. Of the naming of a month is 9, so which was I think was September or what? Yeah. So yeah, so this is my database. Mm. And this is my backup database, which I created in the same file. And these are my indexes, right? So for index, I created an index for people in the industry. So let's say person has first name, last name, sex, and date of birth. And I did it because this might be one of the more common data that is displayed on the front end of the website of, let's say, the NCA's television database. I also created an index for stations. So television station has company type, station name, and email. So in case let's say the NCA wants to send out a mass email to television stations about some new policy that I've come up with, I created an index called airing index to find out the duration times of certain programs. So let's say there's someone looking for, okay, the longest running programs in a day or something like that. And then this next index was advertisement index, which it just shows the sponsor and the advertisement cause and advert type that sponsor might be running on, the ads that the sponsor might be running. So these are my views for all my strong entities. So I have a view for program, advertisement, television station info, sponsor info, person, producer, etc. And then these are my triggers. So I created a trigger that when you run it, it updates the backup database at the same time. So for delete and insert. And I created a trigger for all my strong entities. So I think there were 8 of them. So for television station, for advertisement, person, program, etc. I created for schedule also. And then these are my email triggers for a person. So my email triggers, when you run them, they send for insert and update, they send an email to Mr. Sampa, the teacher, and then it copies me in the same email. So I also know that it's kind of like a confirmation that the email has been sent. What else? So these are all my trigger emails. And I created a stored procedures for insertion, right? So I use my main database, and then this is my stored procedure for inserting into person. So this is person for sponsor. This is for television station. This is for advertisement, producer, and then program. So all my stored procedures take parameters. Yeah. So these are my schedule. This is for the schedule insertion. So for day and month for certain programs. Then this is the movie insertion procedure. So this is like a movie database that the NCH keeps for the type of movies that they are kind of aired on the different stations. And this is for news, but this is for presenter, documentary, program ad, telephone. And these are my functional queries. So my first stored procedure for functional queries is a stored procedure to generate the personal data of presenters that work in the industry and could be used for sending out emails to presenters. So let's say a new policy, you want to inform the general, well, not general public, but the people in the industry that this is the new policy implemented by the NCA. And I had a query for sponsor adverts that selects information about the sponsor of an ad as well as run ads for all ministries in Ghana. Then a query that selects number of stations and the count of programs they air. Then the station program count, the advertisement cost, procedure, and this next query that selects the airing times of documentaries. So documentaries we set airing times, etc. And then this is a query that generates the airing time for news. And this is a query that generates the advertisement cost that is greater than 2,000 Ghana cedis, right? So I will run I'll run the program now. So the queries are executing. So now these are the queries that I have generated from the functional queries. So all queries have been executed successfully. So now I'll just check. So Mr. Sampa that's watching it, you can quickly check your Gmail account, which is where I put the email insert trigger to send to so that you might confirm that I have inserted into my database. So yes, I've also received the database email on my database confirmation that I've sent email. So I would like to say thank you very much, Mr. Sampa, for a wonderful course.